Hello, my friend. Stay a while and listen.
What's going on, guys? It's Filthy and I'm back with another video. Today we're looking at a speed build for the Crusader. It is pretty much based on the top Crusader pushing build at the moment. So this is the Crusader Speed Shotgun. Now I do really like the push build, but it is a little bit slow, so we're going to tinker with it, take a few pieces out, swap a few things around. We're going to make this a lot quicker, albeit we are going to have to sacrifice some toughness and a little bit of damage as well. Now I do really like the Fist of Heaven speed build, the one where you run around and splash lightning everywhere. I think this one probably hits a bit harder, albeit it is a slower speed build because we can't really work the Nems in. So the way I would play it is I would use the Fist of Heaven speed that we came up with a couple of weeks ago up until the point where you take on this build, and then you look to put the push build pieces back in slowly as you work your way up. So it's kind of like an augment progression. Start with Fist of Heavens, then onto this, and then onto your push build. So in the background we're doing 85s. Again, I'm on hardcore. I've had to jump off season because I haven't found the Crimson's plans on season yet. But it's 800 paragon, no augments, only about half the pieces if that are ancient, sheet damage 700k, so on seasonal juice you should be banging 90s out with this pretty easily, and yeah, it turns the shotgun into a bit more fun to play. Before we jump in, I just want to welcome anyone who's new to the channel. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already done so. As always guys, a thumbs up is appreciated. So looking at the gear guys, we're going to go for 5 pieces of the Aegis of Valor set. 2 piece is going to give us a multiplicative increase on Heaven's Fury whenever we hit with Fist of Heavens. So it stacks 3 times, so that's double damage, 4 times, 8 times for 5 seconds. So you want to make sure this is at 3 stacks. So the idea is you're charging up your shotgun with Fist of Heavens, then you use Heaven's Fury as your shotgun. So try and get this at 3 stacks at all times. Now obviously it drops off every 5 seconds, so every 5 seconds you want to make sure you get a Fist of Heavens out. That's absolutely fine because on the 4 piece, Fist of Heavens returns 5 Wrath. So it's kind of like a Wrath potion as well. So even though it is a spender, you've got these kind of ticks going and they just give you Wrath back. So it is very nice. And also on the 4 piece, we get 50% damage reduction from Fist of Heavens. So obviously it's a good skill to use anyway. But the idea is you get your stacks up to 3 and then you're going to look to shotgun. Now on the 6 piece, Fist of Heavens and Heaven's Fury both get 20,000% damage modifiers. Really nice, but the Fist of Heavens isn't really doing any damage. It all comes from the Heaven's Fury. That's because in the cube we've gone for the Fate of the Fell, so we're going to get 500% multiplicative damage and 2 additional rays on the Heaven's Fury. We've also taken the Braces of Fury as well, so this gives us up to 400% against enemies that are blinded, immobilized or stunned. We're going to go for a blind. We do have a manual application of it on the skills, but it's going to mostly come from the cord of the Sherma in the cube. Now this is quite an interesting effect. On hit we have a chance to spawn a chaos field. It's kind of like a massive ocular circle and anything inside it will be blinded for 4 seconds. Basically if something touches this field you will absolutely insta-melt it with the shotgun. Obviously it's random, you can't control where it goes, but the idea is you just hop in it, shotgun blast everything and then get off on your way. Now you're by no means reliant on this, but it really does increase your damage if you can get something on it. It's very handy for the Rift Guardian because you should be able to spawn the circle right on the Guardian, and as soon as it spawns, that's it, game over, Guardian should be done. Now to offset the fact that we don't always have the blind up, we're still going to take the Shield of Fury. This gives us a 30% stacking effect as a multiplier on Heaven's Fury. So 3 hits you're doing almost double damage with this thing. So the idea is that if you don't have the blind up from either your manual application on the skills or from the Sherma, it should only take about 3 or 4 blasts from the shotgun to pretty much put anything down. Very nice, I still think it's worthwhile taking. Now at this point guys, we do start to deviate from the push build. We're going to take the Echoing Fury. Now this gives us extra attack speed, which is phenomenal. So it stacks 5 times and it's 15% attack speed per stack. To gain a stack you have to kill an enemy, so that's at most 75% attack speed. That's huge, and at 5 stacks you can dump out loads of shotguns, makes the build really fast. You also get extra move speed, again stacking 5 times up to a maximum of 25%, so you run around a little quicker. On the secondary you do have a slightly annoying affix. It's got this 10% to fear on it, but it doesn't really matter because you're going to absolutely melt stuff anyway. Now if you are doing lower content, you can try and take the Larceny Ring to pair with the Fear, and that I think rolls up to 20% on the secondary. That will make you run faster, but at the moment, because I'm playing hardcore, because my gear's not great, I am relying on the Unity for a bit of toughness. So this gives us a double toughness modifier, provided our follower has one, and provided they've also got the relic that makes them invulnerable. but the larceny ring is quite a good choice, and you do run around really fast with that. The problem I find is that it only lasts for 4 seconds, so it is a little bit random. Now we're still going to take the Zodiac. This will give us a 1 second reduction in our cooldowns whenever we hit something, so one of our skills at random will have a second off its cooldown. Both Vista Heavens and Heaven's Fury activate this, so whenever we click the skills we do get something back from it, so quite a lot of utility out of it. And for speedrifts, I do like the Flavour of Time, particularly when you get a shield pylon. It does make your speedrift pretty brainless, you don't have to worry too much about it. Basically you just get double pylon duration, so it is pretty nice. Now as you scale the build upwards, you can swap back onto the Traveller's Pledge and Compass Rose. That will give you a double damage modifier if you're standing still and a 50% damage reduction whilst moving. What I find with the build though is because you're legging it about so quickly, you're not really getting much utility out of the damage side of this, so that's why I think it's probably slightly better to go for the Flavour of Time. Now again, another swap, if you do have enough toughness and main stat, you can swap out Unity for Convention of Elements. That again would give you some really nice spike damage on Holy. Again, it would smooth over the blind because you don't have access to it, on demand. But again, I'm playing hardcore, so I'm playing it safe and gone with the Unity. Legendary gem wise, Bane of the Trapped, absolute no-brainer. Close range build, flat damage increase. Bane of the Powerful, once we kill our first elite, we're going to get extra damage. We generally get extra damage against elites and damage reduction from them, so again, really nice. And lastly, Gogok Swiftness. This is just to help out with the cooldown, and the extra attack speed means more shotguns, and that means more damage. Other gems for consideration would be Pain Enhancer. Again, this is kind of going more back towards the push build. Critical hits will give us increased attack speed. You're going to melt stuff pretty quickly, so I don't really think it's the best option, but you can try it. Wreath of Lightning would make us move quicker, so you can maybe swap out the Powerful or Gogok for this and you would run around a bit quicker, but given the move speed we've already got in the build, it's not going to make too much of a difference. Now if you find you're a little bit squishy, you can take the Esoteric Alteration, that will boost up your toughness quite a bit. Obviously guys, final item, Ring of Raw Grandeur, rounds things out in the cube. So looking at the skills, Heaven's Fury, Fire to Heavens, this is the shotgun bit. This means we've got no cooldown and we basically blast stuff for Holy, so we want the Holy on Bracer and on Amulet. Vista Heavens, Fissure, this is just the rune that hits the most, so we get the most wrath back I think from this. So you just plop these down, it cycles in between them, but it's not really doing any damage. You just need to make sure you're at 3 stacks of this so you can shotgun with maximum DPS. And obviously if you do find yourself running low on resource, chuck a few of these out and your resource will just come back pretty quickly. We're going to go for Iron Skin Flash when we do take damage, which will be pretty often because we are close range and in the thick of things. We get 60% move speed for 5 seconds, really handy for utility. Laws of Valor, Unstoppable Force, this helps out tremendously with the shotguns because it means we can pump loads of them out because we've got 50% wrath reduction. We also get extra attack speed, which is brilliant. But the interesting thing is that this feeds directly into the Crimsons, so it's a huge toughness buff when it's up and it's pretty much perma uptime. Same for Iron Skin, both of them should be up pretty much quite a lot of the time, and it's such a huge toughness buff to take out that that's kind of why you're stuck with the Crimsons really. Akarat's Champion Prophet, extra damage, extra armor, free cheat death, just again absolute no brainer. I'm definitely going to take it on hardcore, but I wouldn't take it off anyway. So the Steed Charge, Draw and Quarter, this is going to be our manual application of the blind. It's really here for utility to get around the map because I just don't like playing speed builds without this because we do want to sometimes traverse long sections of the map and it's pretty good for that. Now the Draw and Quarter rune will drag mobs with you, it's good for grouping them up, getting them in an area, making sure that when you do move along you're dragging enemies with you, but it also applies a blind, so that's quite nice because then the Heaven's Fury braces kick in and we get that extra multiplier. Passive wise, Fervor will give us more attack speed and more cooldown, obviously both really handy. Indestructible is again a no-brainer on hardcore, but in general you may as well leave it on just because if you get dragged into an explosion or get hit with arcane you might die, so you don't want to lose gem ups because it's a speed build, so I would leave it on. Finery gives you an extra 1.5% strength for every gem socketed into your gear, so again pretty big toughness and pretty big damage increase. And Long Arm of the Law will increase Laws of Valor from 5 seconds up to 10, so again that's how we get perma uptime, very handy. The only other passive I would consider is Holy Cause. This will give us 10% extra damage and also healers for 1% of our life, so if you did want to take off the cheat death you could swap it in for this, or maybe you could take off Finery, but I certainly wouldn't take off Fervor and I wouldn't take off Long Arm of the Law. In terms of gameplay, you're going to want to numlock Laws of Valor and Iron Skin. You can also numlock Akarat's Champion if you want, and then basically you're going to make sure that you get your Fist of Heavens up to 3 stacks. That's your shotgun charged. You then want to make sure that every 5 seconds you're whacking one of these out to keep your shotgun at 3 stacks. If they drop off, stack the shotgun up before using it because it's such a huge damage increase. You then basically want to jump into your core of the Sherma circles, melt everything with the shotgun, and then you use your steed charge to get basically around the map, or drag enemies, or manually apply a blind if you really want to. In terms of Paragon, I don't really find you need any points in maximum wrath, but if you are struggling with resource you can take it. Move speed up to 25% and then everything else in strength. For offense, you're going to want cooldown reduction, fill out your crits, and then attack speed. For defense you're going to want all res, life percent, armor, life regen. And for utility, resource cost reduction, area damage, life pit, and gold find. So that's pretty much the build, guys. It is quite fun to play. You run around quite a lot, you do move very fast. It's nice jumping in the core of the Sherma circles and just insta-melting stuff with the shotgun. So that's the build, guys. I hope you've enjoyed it. Leave me a thumbs up if you have, and I'll see you again for some more Season 19 content very soon. Peace.
The girls with their nails done now. Girls with their nails done. The girls with their nails done. Girls with their nails done. I think the girls with their nails done now.